Alright guys, RoKage here and welcome back to the brand new video. Here we are again on Reverse 1999, and as I promised on today's video, as I promised on the previous one, we're gonna do the endgame tier list. More precisely, I will just show you one endgame tier list from pridewin.gg website, okay? You will see I already made like a pre-launch tier list and early game tier list, so you can check that one out and you're gonna see the differences. But on today's video, I want to be focused towards that end game tier list. I want to see what characters are highly usable during the late game, because at the end of the day I want to plan what characters I will get, on what characters I should be focused on in the long run. That is definitely worth doing. Leave a like, subscribe, your opinions in the comment section below. I always say this and I will say it again. Take this with a grain of salt. This is like overall community's tier list, okay? This is not my own tier list. I can say that for some of these characters I could agree, for some of the characters I could disagree, but that's not the point. The main point is to learn as much as possible for the end game, okay? Here also I checked show unreleased characters, so at the same time we're gonna be able to see what those future characters where they stand at, okay? So first we have an S tier. As you can see, S tier is pretty long, and I believe most of the characters in the game itself, especially 6 stars, are S tier. So let me talk about that. Black Dwarf, she is one of the characters that will be dropping in some time. We have time until she drops. Then again, we need to be careful with the predictions. Global games tend to do their own thing, but overall I think there won't be any surprises on this game, and they will pretty much follow the CN schedule. They could just release everything much faster than on a CN. Maybe they wanna sync CN version and global version in the long run. We're gonna see. But anyways, Black Dwarf, she is both early game S tier and late game S tier. She's a build up type of the character, burst type of the character. Then we have Centurion. Centurion is both S tier in the early game and the late game. She's more as a sustain type of the character, AP really generous, and also one of the craziest DPS characters in the game. They're all DPS characters, like here damage dealer, DPS, right? Support here, and then we have the survival type of the characters here. So I don't need to repeat myself and say, yo, Charlie's a DPS, you know that. We're gonna just go a little bit further more into those details. Changeling, also she's a plant type of the character, 6 star. She has that poison and burst. As you know, poison with Sotheby overall, that will be like a new meta after a certain update. I can't remember which one, but already some people are planning for that. Charlie, she goes a Dispeller, and S after PS +3. Definitely Charlie, like already said multiple times, she just needs dupes. When you get like 3 dupes, you're pretty much ready to go, and she's like one of the craziest mental 5-star DPS characters in the game, maybe even the best one from the mental damage dealers, okay, just so you know. And she's a star typing. Then we have here for the damage dealers, we have Eternity, sustain type of the character, again DPS. Lilia, crit oriented. As you know, I use Lilia. It says here B early game, late S game, late game S tier, so definitely in the late game she will shine even further more. I wouldn't agree that she's in early game B tier. Honestly, I've been using her from the start, and I would say at least A tier. Yeah, I definitely see why B tier, but I think it's a little bit too low. But nevertheless, I don't want to go now full on in like crazy talking about all of this. I just want to say that she needs a little bit longer time until you get the right psych cube for her until you build her insides. All of that is extremely important, so you build that critical rate up and overall critical damage up, and then she will crit more and do bigger damages, and then she will start to shine. So that's why I need to say that early game A tier, but a late game S tier. B tier for me is still too low because she helped me so much even in the early game, and definitely she was my main carry, but I understand why they put B tier. I just love Lilia so much that I just cannot put her in the B tier. But it makes sense, definitely. When I started playing, she wasn't that usable as now, so this makes sense. I'm not saying anything against this website, they're doing a crazy good job. I'm just expressing my opinion, don't worry about that stuff. Regulus 6-star star element here, early game A tier. Again, I'm talking about now both of those early end game, but I want to be focused on the end game. So she is an S tier in end game. Again, crit oriented and AP generous. Okay, so definitely Regulus is one of the characters that you can focus on for the DPS if you have her. Support type of the characters. We have Alan Lee, Buffer, Days, then Cornbloom, again S tier in the late game. Debuff, Seal, Pickles, who didn't still release, he'll be an Buffer and he'll be really AP generous. And of course for the end game, S tier. Shaman, male type of the character. A lot of people ask me, yo RoKage, what about male characters? Will they drop in the game? What is happening? Yeah, I need to say that he will drop eventually, and don't worry, there'll be male characters, but most of them will be girls, okay? He's beast type of the character, debuffer and burst type. Although I believe he has like 1 second. Deals damage. Crit rate on the primary target is increased by 20%, and excess crit rate is converted into crit damage. So it's AoE. Mass attack means AoE, right? Yeah, to all enemies. No, reality damage to all enemies. All enemies means AoE. Crit rate on the primary target is increased by 20%. Okay. And excess. So pretty much, if I understand what he can do, so the primary target is increased 20, and excess crit rate is converted into crit damage. So again, he'll be really good. Mass debuff, yeah, buffing, debuffing, giving us more damage, more crits. Overall, that's pretty good. Plus we have here, reduces their reality and mental defense by 15%. So again, another type of the character that can be extremely useful with buffing and debuffing. Definitely interesting character, okay? Then we have Warrior, debuffer and the counter itself. Many people told me Warrior, Lilia and Tooth Fairy. It is God tier combination, okay? Lilia, Voyager and Tooth Fairy, both of them S tier in the end game. 100% worth getting and planning for the future. That will be my plan based on my account. Getting Lilia done, Voyager I will pull for her, and then Tooth Fairy I'm pretty much done and ready to go. Pickle and Shaman are one of those characters that I would really like to have, but they're not a must for my account. Although it's hard to say what's a must, what it isn't, because at the end of the day you will have to create multiple teams for multiple activities, so maybe getting all of those characters will be smart at the end of the day, but still I'm talking about my main team and my main goal. And then we have the survival. Again, all of those are S tier. All of those are S tier. in the end game tier list. So Balloon Party, who is a healer and a counter, Medicine Pocket, healer, damage reduction, and then Tooth Fairy, again healer and crit support. I mean, Tooth Fairy is like absolutely god tier, guys. Not only she can give you critical, 1 second, here it is, mass heals all allies, so it's AoE everyone. For the caster attack times 800 of HP, this healing also gets a 30% crit rate. That's why Lilia and her and everything else is like absolutely crazy. Again, getting the insights is a must also. Eventually you're gonna get it, because upon entering, immediately gain 3 baby tooth. When any ally actively casts the skill, gain 1 baby tooth. When the round begins, spend 5 baby tooth to reduce 50% of crit resist rate and crit defense for all enemies. Beautiful debuff right here. Again, plus 40% healing effect, and then insight 3, when start debuff effect of baby tooth is triggered, heal all allies. So incredible broken healer, guys. Plus she is helping with the critical rates up. Yeah, absolutely god tier. Even I would say even god tier Tooth Fairy, and that's a god tier team. Lilia, Voyager and Tooth Fairy 100%. So I didn't now go, you know, like full analysis of the S tier characters, go full breakdown, because this video would last forever. Because you already know, I will put the website in the description below so you can check out some of the details. I wanted to keep it basic and understandable, and to show you what is gonna be the best end game characters right here. Okay, I will talk furthermore about A, and then B, C, and D tier, and E tier. We're gonna just check it out. About the A tier, so here. So for the DPS is Milania, AP greedy, so she's really greedy about that Moxie steal, so she is capable of stealing a Moxie. Yeah, also just to clarify, because I didn't clarify it, what that means: AP generous and AP greedy. Pretty much AP are the points that you're getting by moving the cards and using the skills and everything else, so you will have to use a lot of movements with the skill cards and everything else combining, so you get the maximum potential of Milania. For some people, you just don't need to use so many constantly active skills and all of that. You don't need to use constantly the cards, moving the cards together to get those points, so you can use her in the fullest. Okay, just so you know. So you will have to, I mean, I can show right away, just so you are clear with that one, because I don't know, did I explain you correctly, but you have it right here, beginner guide, I believe. And then if we go here, yeah, AP generous refers to a character who don't need to spend many action points to fulfill their role. Exactly. AP greedy, the opposite, character who needs to use cards and move constantly to fulfill their role. Okay, so Milania, A Knight, a lot of people crazy about this guy. Late game A tier, we're gonna see about that. Moxie gain and also buffer. Druid's tree is really good with Petrify. And then we have the support characters: Baby Blue, Diggers, Horopedia, Sonetto, and X. Again, people saying no male characters. There are male characters, but they're not so often. As you can see, Horopedia is right here. He's a really good dispeller and debuffer for the end game. Sonetto buffer and for the disarm. Yeah, in the late game she will slowly fall off, although we're gonna see. Yeah, but definitely early game suits her better, 100%. I can already feel that a little bit falling off, but still highly usable for me. Baby Blue, debuffer controller. Diggers, debuffer and controller, and then dispeller and controller X. Again, in early game, not many people use him, but later on you will see I will also build him up. He has a great potential to work as a unit, and he'll be definitely A rank in the future, in the late game. Again, DK, yeah, he will fall off. I agree. A little bit he is already falling off for the end game. He's a really good, like for the early game, he was even a sub DPS for me, but now not anymore. Only for the heal. Sotheby is the best support in the game, and I honestly think heal poison for the late game. I would put Sotheby in S tier. This is one of the things that I would change here. Early game C tier, I don't have her, so I don't want to go into that, but I think that's a little bit too low. But at the same time, I didn't use her, so I don't know, I'm just like based on your comments. But yeah, definitely one of them really crazy characters on a late game, so I won't go into that. Definitely A tier for the end game. Tenant A tier, shield damage dealer, and yeah, Sotheby has that heal and poison is the meta. And now for the end, we're gonna just read the B tier characters. DPS characters: Bloni, Eagle, Kanira, Pavia, Satsuki. Support characters are Bete, Eric, Necrologist, Twin Sleep. Then we have Reality, Click, Cristallo, and Mr. New Battle on the B tier for the survival type of the characters. And again, Leilani, Matilda, Sweetheart C tier, Door, Nick Bottom C tier for the support, and then for the survival, Apple, La Source, The Fool. Definitely Apple, early game B, and then late game C. I still think that Apple has a great potential because of the healing and the damage dealing at the same time. And for the early game, I might even consider putting him in the A tier overall, okay? But then again, I won't go into that until I fully test out. That I'm just like putting some my opinions here, but don't get me wrong. This is legit tier list, and this website is amazing. It helped a ton to me and every other content creator out there. But yeah, just some conclusions. And then the D tier, you can pause it and read it for yourself. E tier and F tier is Onion, the worst unit in the game. Okay guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video. I wanted to keep it as short as possible with few explanations, but I just want to keep it basic because it's an end game. Let's see, let's take it easy, just so we roughly know where every character stands. All of these characters needs to be tested furthermore. Who knows how they're gonna do things on global, blah blah blah. So I didn't want to go in 1 hour video explaining each of those characters, but for now this will be more than enough, so you know which of these characters will fall off and which of these characters will climb. That's it guys, love ya, hopefully you did enjoy it, and this is the pridewin.gg endgame tier list for reverse 1999. Bye guys.